Many thanks for staying on the show. Yes, it's still Political Spectrum reaching you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran here in Akwa Ibom State. And just so you know, you can join this particular conversation live on our different social media handles on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, and of course on Twitter. Live with the handle at Spectrum TV NG. And I've been joined right here in the studio by a comrade, a political affairs analyst, a person who is concerned with political issues. I'm talking about Comrade Victor Onomo. Great to have you on the show.
Good morning to you too. Good to be here again.
Good to be here, of course. Just quickly, PDP seems to be having quite an issue with zoning. And there are speculations that the zoning is supposed to come, presidential ticket precisely, is supposed to come to the southeast. But there's another line of argument by some chieftains who say that the PDP, the north under the PDP administration have not had enough time to be in governance, but for the 2 years that led President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua was in office. And they seem to think that for equity's sake, the presidential ticket should be zoned to the north. What do you make of that argument?
Now, each time I listen to that argument, I am compelled to just laugh because Nigeria is not just starting. You may have 2 republics, you may have 5 republics, but we know this country started. We had independence and we've been in leadership. So it wouldn't be a small group of people who will now come to alter the equation. We found a balance in what is happening, and we should toe that balance. What really cut the knot off? Okay, what are they saying now? PDP was formed in 1998, and they had the first presidency then in his given to Chief Olusegun Obasanjo from the north, and they had this gentleman agreement from the southwest. They had this gentleman agreement that after 8 years, power should rotate to between the north and the south. Now, unfortunately, Musa Yar'Adua, who succeeded, may soul rest in peace, succeeded Obasanjo, was cut off by nature, and the Goodluck Jonathan constitutionally continued with that administration and contested. So, and that they lost the election. They lost the election. Probably nobody would have argued that if Goodluck Jonathan, that the PDP presented, had defeated Buhari, he would probably would have ended his tenure, and the North would have come back to power. This agreement wouldn't come out again. Because they would have said, okay, if PDP had such belief, they would have said, okay, since Yar'Adua died, let Goodluck Jonathan stand down for a Northerner. But they agreed in the spirit of the Constitution and our brotherhood as a nation to continue with this arrangement. So what this simply means is this. They just, by sheer faith, lost out on that equation for 4 years. But going back again to bring in, because if you are saying that, you're going to bring a Northerner to rule for 6 years, would that work? There will be another school of thought. You would have a Northerner to stay for 6 years to complete that. So what the PDP should do is that the power must not be this generation. It must not be my generation acquiring the power. Since Muhammadu Buhari is already seated, I would allow them, they should also take that path. That whenever the North, whenever the South, whenever the APC is presenting a southern candidate, they should also present a southern candidate. If they are presenting a northern candidate, they should also present a northern candidate, because that will balance the political structure. So yeah. I know the argument. The argument they are putting forward.
Now, let me come on that. Now, we see that, like you rightly said, President Muhammadu Buhari came in on board after former President Goodluck Jonathan conceded defeat at the election, which he was supposed to continue to complete a 6-year tenure. So it was truncated at that point. Do you think President Muhammadu Buhari coming to power under the All Progressives Congress, does it add up to the zoning, the northern zoning, the presidential ticket, or do you feel they are right to want another fresh start?
Patriotically speaking, when you talk about politics is a game of interest, and the most pursued interest is selfish interest. But patriotically, speaking, the emergence of Muhammadu Buhari from the north should make do for the PDP. Should make do for the PDP. This is the nation we are talking about. This is the unity of the nation. The essence of zoning was to foster unity. It wasn't for people to look at unfortunate situations and manipulate. Because to me, it's just like you seeing, looking at a natural disaster and manipulating it for political gains. Because if Muhammadu, I respect him so much. If Yar'Adua did not pass on, the argument would not come. We wouldn't have that argument today. So good enough. Another Northerner has come in through another political party. Like I used to describe them, I see the APC and the PDP as a dozen and 12. But the most important thing should be national interest. In the spirit of national interest, in short, the Southeast region like Southeast, who has suffered for the PDP, should be considered for the PDP ticket.
Now, from the All Progressives Congress and also from the People's Democratic Party, there seems to be a watered-down opinion on zoning the presidential ticket to the Southeast because of IPOP agitation and all of that. Do you feel that is okay?
Well, it's not issue of. I don't think the East should get the ticket to run on the platform of those two major political parties because of IPOP. To me, IPOP issue is inconsequential. What we should really think about is it just? Who should justly give the ticket to the Southeast? If you look at it now, in 2019 or 1999, when President Obasanjo took over, he was deputized by a Northerner, Atiku Abubakar. After that, you know, before Jonathan came to join Yar'Adua, that was to sustain that arrangement which had been made for zoning. Now, if you look at the two, the man coming in now, the PDP lost election. There's no way about it. They lost election to another political party, and the political party presented a northern candidate. That was to assuage the North. If you look at it, even those who later left the PDP to join the APC to support Muhammadu Buhari did that because they felt power should remain in the South. If you do a background check of what happened then, Jonathan was doing with a very humble person. He had a huge followership in the Southeast, another part of the country. But the northern oligarchy, that's what I'm talking about. When we're talking about this, we should talk about patriotism. We should talk in the interest of national unity, not in the interest of political party. The interest of a particular political party should not supersede national interest. So by national interest, the North, the PDP, in my opinion, it will be somehow political greedy to seek for that ticket again.
We feel at a point the Northerners seemed they were aggrieved when the late President Muhammadu Yar'Adua passed on, because there was a report at that time that former President Obasanjo gave Nigerians a sick president because they believed he had prior health information about the former late President Muhammadu Yar'Adua, and they said because he passed on, they still want to take. He
didn't give Nigeria. Anybody could be sick. Anybody can be sick. Even someone you see today, you see to have a terminal ailment may live for so many years. The fact that I have a terminal ailment does not mean I will die tomorrow morning. So we don't say that. And the man had been a governor in Katsina State for 8 years, and he did very well. So those who put that argument that Yar'Adua was Obasanjo gave them Yar'Adua, even though I'm against the clause giving somebody power, because what we expect people to do is that in democracy, in a normal democracy, the masses should be allowed to make their choice, while the electoral umpire remain unbiased and the people go to the poll to choose who they want to lead them. So what I am saying in a nutshell is that the idea of PDP getting that ticket had been taken away by Buhari's succession of Jonathan. They shouldn't ask for it. That is asking for too much. Okay. Besides, if you also look at it, some elements who had joined for the sake of the northern interest, those who are asking for that ticket today were the same people who joined Buhari. Didn't Saraki join Buhari? Didn't Atiku join Buhari?
He didn't join Buhari. He actually left Buhari for the People's Democratic Party.
He left Jonathan to support Buhari. They were the one who decammed. It was when he came into the Buhari system, I didn't favor him. The new PDP, some members of the new PDP, they were the new PDP who joined the APC, later decamped back to the PDP. So as at the time they had left the PDP at that particular material time to support Buhari into power and allow Jonathan to go, what was on their mind? So you can ask for what is not there. At a point they would have stated, okay, complete this tenure, let us continue with this arrangement. They didn't do that. What did they do? They simply left the party. You saw how Tambuwal, who is now the governor of Sokoto State, jumped from the PDP to the APC. That's not true. Where Jonathan had to lock the National Assembly and they scaled to the gate. Those things were not true. They were called Northern people. Kwakwanso, they were all called Northern people who saw that the power should return to the North because of the death of Yaradua. They went and left. All they left was just to leave the PDP logo and take on the APC logo. And they won. So why are they? How would the same people who came to grab power from Jonathan and give to Buhari now return to the PDP to come and get power from Buhari? No.
Now this is another set of argument, because the Southern Governors Forum had an agreement that PDP should zone her presidential ticket to the southeast, and away from that, other chieftains are saying they insist. Do you think that disparity of opinion could lead to
again looking at the Nigeria political arrangement? I'm not a fan to that arrangement, but that is the certainty of that arrangement, where the governors, because of their resources, governor use the state resource to control the political parties. Right now, if you go by that, it is the South that is funding PDP. If you take that argument, it's the South that is funding PDP. I am not afraid to tell you that the bulk of the funding coming to the People's Democratic Party come from Akwa Ibom State and Rivers State, talking about Uwike, and also come from Delta State. So if you look at that, those who fund, who pays the piper, should now begin to dictate the tune. So how many? That is the truth. And that is why, you see, that's why it was easy for the Southern governors to say, we don't want a Uche Secondus again. And despite everything that happened, he did not want Uche Secondus again. And Uche Secondus had to go. It was still a coup from the South. What were they doing that? They were doing that to create an opportunity for the Southerner to also become the president. Again, before now, the Northern governors had a meeting and they agreed that power should be shifted to the South. Again, I want to bring you to another structure again. The PDP structure from inception has never favored a Northern national chairman and a Northern presidential candidate.
Oh, well. Now, that's still being the case. We'll get back on this conversation right after this time out. Let's see how that plays out for them in the taking power and fixing Nigeria. Like Iyorchia Ayu rightly said, PDP is back. Let's see how far that will play out for them after this time out. Please stay. Political Spectrum continues right. Many thanks for staying on the show. Yes, it's still Political Spectrum, reaching you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. And of course, our guest is still here. I'm talking about Comrade Victor Onomo. Comrade, you said that they can have the position of the national chairman and also have the presidential ticket zone to the north at both times.
Yeah, that is really
if that's the case now, you also said that PDP is funded by mostly the Southern governors.
Yes.
And of course, you know that the fear of the 3Ks is the beginning of wisdom in politics. So I'm talking about the voting strength of Kaduna, Katsina, and Kano. And now, wearing that side by side, how do you think the vision of Iyorchia Ayu to actualize the Rescue Nigeria mission is visible?
Well, in my case, I don't know how someone who had opportunity to rescue a country and never rescued a country will all of a sudden come to talk about rescuing a country. That is not even what I'm looking at. Only sincere and patriotic Nigerians, irrespective of their political coloration and platform, will rescue Nigeria. Not the same gang of people. You can't tell me a football team that played just two weeks ago and lost woefully coming around to tell me they've done a better training. But if that be the case, we give glory to the Almighty God. Now, look at the 3Ks. Currently, the 3Ks are in the hands of the All Progressive Congress. That's where the 3Ks are. And we know how these people do play politics in this country. The government will always use money to suppress certain political bloc within the state to make sure they have their ways. But that be the case, what I'm saying in essence is that any attempt to hurt the southern governors who have continued to fund the party. And remember, all these governors are outgoing governors. This is a transition period. It's not like that time where I'm looking for a second term or that time where I'm fighting for second term. No, I am going home, or like in the normal retirement package, I'm retiring to the Senate or I am going home. So in the wake of that, what I would then look at is that I cannot be bringing my money to spend for what will not be of benefit to me. So I see the southern governors having great influence over the PDP ticket because they are funding the party. Now, the North, you couldn't come and threaten people with... I don't even know how many people vote in Nigeria. But the truth is this. If you have enlightened voters, you will be able to draw a data now. I'm talking about this population you talk about because in the election in Nigeria, one person can be, in short, can turn 1 million person overnight and give you 1 million votes. But in real voting, it's only when you know the number of voters, the ones who are dead, the ones who are alive.
Let me take you on that. Let me cut you on that. The new provision as stipulated by the new Electoral Act, as transmitted recently to the President for assent, has it that the accredited number of voters is what is paramount, is what INEC will use to determine the number of votes cast in a particular unit. So I feel that wouldn't be the case anymore.
How accredited how? This is that some people say they don't have enough electronic or the system, enough technology to ensure they do electronic transmission of results. So how are you going to know who was accredited in area where there is no internet and who was not accredited? It's the people who still bring form, put down the form and fill and tell you so number of people were accredited. What would have saved this nation would have been a total agreement on electronic transmission of result and electronic accreditation, such that if you enter this board to vote, you are instantly captured by the machine. So you can't come twice. It's only when that process is strengthened and recognized by the Constitution that you can get it right.
But electronic transmission of vote has been approved.
If it's been approved, the electronic, do you have enough technology? Does it cover everywhere? The Senator Ojus Okalo was on a platform of the Senate shouting that there is no internet in Ohafia. How are you going to transmit those areas where you don't have the right technology? The people will definitely shift population to that place and rig the election.
Okay, now, have you considered the argument that peradventure, if the North, PDP zones a presidential ticket to the North, it could be of advantage to them, considering that the Northerners wouldn't want to, they're trying to take over power, of course. They want to take over power from the All Progressives Congress at the center precisely. And if they have a candidate coming from the North, it could attract people, voters, to vote for the People's Democratic Party.
And they agree, when you look at it, the All Progressive Congress, let me not help them, I'm not being consulted for this. They'll win the Southwest. They'll win the huge population of Lagos. That is very certain. It's as certain as tomorrow. Because we know the mentality of the people, how they vote, if you present a certain candidate. Now, if the Igbos who expect right now to be rewarded, because they have even defied their brothers who came up with ABGA and turned to vote the PDP, they have done so much, what looked like betraying their natural system to support the PDP. And that is where the PDP owes its ticket, going by equity and justice. That's where the PDP owes its ticket. Now, the argument is this. If you don't give this power to these people, don't you also think that those ones will also revolt and vote against them? You don't consider that? Now, do you now think that with a sitting governor of a party in Kanu, Kaduna, that we are going to floor them? Are you going to think, have you seen the kind of huge followership Professor Zulum is? I'm looking at the reality. He's enjoying in Borno State. Have you done those calculations? There could also be people in the North who will know that the Igbos are due for presidency and don't equally vote for them.
But
So we didn't do that.
So far,
are you saying there are people you can call owners of Nigeria?
Well, the major political parties are not zoning any of their. They've not zoned. They want to leave, from their body language. I feel they want to leave it open for any aspirant from any geopolitical zone.
If you check the upper, you don't need someone to tell you. From declaration done so far, from major declaration done so far, I can tell you the region, the All Progressive Congress will bring their president from.
Well, you hold that opinion.
The strength of people doing declaration. I'm a political realist.
Oh.
I don't believe in those things, gambling and this does this, when actually what you need is in front of you. What we also look at is this. What stopped the North from pulling that strength? That's why I tell you there is no political party, because if the political parties know their strength, they will already know the number of votes they have from their membership. Is it not true?
Well, we'll continue on this conversation maybe some other time, but at this point, we have to put a pause to it now. And many thanks for sharing your thoughts on the show with us today. Comet Victor Onoma, great to have you on the show. We look forward to another conversation on the same subject. But for now, that has been the size of our package today. Political Spectrum continues tomorrow. My name is Otobasi Tom. Bye for now.